Dennis Berman is here to discuss whether, in fact, winning that Mega Million lottery ticket can buy happiness.
Yeah, before we get to that, though, I kind of like the idea that there is this kind of collective experience. We've lost a lot of that as the media has changed, right?
Collective experience. It's called a bubble. It's a mania. It's not a collective experience.
But it's a shared social experience.
I have not bought a ticket.
Okay,
I'm not
exactly.
sharing.
Well, you're antisocial to begin with.
Yeah.
But that is in its own way, I think, kind of special. This is something that everyone can talk about. It used to be you would talk on Monday what happened on the Sunday television shows, but now no one really watches those things anymore. But let's get to the main question.
Let's get to the main question. Robert Frank has an excellent piece out in the Wealth Report. Will winning the lottery ruin your life? And he basically went through and they discovered, there are a few high-profile examples of people who won the lottery and basically blew it all and turned out, the worst thing that ever happened to me was I bought the ticket. But apparently there's a scientific study that shows, in fact, most lottery winners turn out to be happier than they would have been if they had not won the lottery. Does that surprise you?
Surprise me? I'd say it's all relative, right? It's all relative to the individual. And these are the choices and decisions and calibrations we have to make in every part of our lives. It's kind of like what we were talking about the other day as relates to being a basketball fan. Like, what are your expectations? Is getting far but not all the way good enough? Or do you have to go all the way? And by that same extension, is being fabulously wealthy.
Here we go. We're going to look at some of the numbers. Fabulous. You said to me there was a quote from your dad. Why don't you tell people what that quote was? Because I kind of agreed with it. What did your father have to say about this?
Well, this is what he said. A child of the Depression who's a pretty conservative guy and who worked very hard over his life. His favorite saying is, money doesn't buy happiness, but it helps.
But it helps. And I think that's probably...
I would agree with him, too.
Yeah, and by the way, I think if you kind of parse through the scientific study, that would be the outcome of it, which is most of the people who won the lottery, it ended up kind of being a net benefit to them in their lives. Now, I'm not happy about this whole Mega Millions mania.
I don't know why.
I'm not happy. Okay, I'm gonna say to you, ask you a few questions and see if you know the answer. Okay?
The interrogatories.
Yes, okay. Number one, what does the average American spend per year on a lottery? And by the way, I got this off of a Zero Hedge piece on the lottery.
Average American, I'm going to say $12 to $15.
$250 a year.
Average American?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, like $50 or $60 billion is spent a year on lotteries.
That can't be right.
No, well, I just read it.
Some people must be playing a lot more than others because there's no way each person's putting in $250.
No, that's right. And so do you know who is spending a lot more?
Let me guess. The research shows people with lower median incomes.
Lower median incomes spend a lot more. In fact, some of the studies have suggested that as much, there are people in the poverty bracket who may be spending as much as kind of, 8 to 10% of their income on lottery tickets. Okay, does that make you happy as an American citizen?
No, it does not make me happy. But as we said before, right, the duplicity and desperation of our state and local governments to raise revenue has basically abolished all moral standing on these issues, whether it be lotteries or casino gambling, which is winding its way across America in a new way.
Right. So tonight at 11 o'clock, I know you're going to be sitting down with the lovely Tiffany.
I'm not going to be watching.
And you're going to sit down with your ticket in your hand, sweating.
I'd say
sweating in front of the TV.
Say you're missing the real value.
What is the real value?
Well, it's like I said before. Everyone is talking about. We crave these shared experiences. We've become so atomized in our lives with our devices, with our technology. This is something that everyone can participate in.
By the way,
and that, in its own bizarre way, is a beautiful thing.
By the way, you know what my take would be on that, which is it is reflective of the extreme superficiality of our existence. And by that I mean it is the kind of thing where people think that they can get by just on luck. That faith and luck will be enough at the end of the day to keep them engaged and win at the end of the day. I think
we should have a worldwide Montaigne book club. So perhaps we can reflect on the meaning of life in a shared way. Would that be better, Evan?
You're calling me a snob? I'm not a snob. I'm simply saying, it's kind of crazy. $60 billion a year on lottery tickets in America.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, somebody would probably be better off, rather than waiting online to buy a lottery ticket, maybe reading a chapter or two from Montaigne's essays,
which we both enjoy.
I know. I think somebody
do we have a shot of Montaigne's essays? No, we don't have that. No, we have some
we have
lottery
lots of
statistics.
numbers on the Montaigne. I got to go.